Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a little book recommendation video because it is 93 degrees Fahrenheit here right now with almost 40% humidity, so it is really hot. And while you might want to read a book that is about something cold to take your mind off the heat, I'm actually the type of person who really likes to match my reading to my circumstances. So that usually means reading books that take place in the summer over the summer, or reading Christmassy books around Christmas, or reading a book set in or about or by someone from a country when I'm visiting the country, etc. So for me, I picked what books to read during a heat wave based on kind of matching the feeling of it being a hot, humid summer, kind of stagnant, with the world situation right now, a lot of people are feeling stuck. So that's how I picked these books. So I have 4 book recommendations for you, all fiction. The first one is The Star Side of Bird Hill by Naomi Jackson. It's a novel set in Barbados. 2 sisters from Brooklyn go to spend the summer there with their grandmother when their mother can't care for them anymore. And I had really high expectations for this book because I hadn't read a book set in the Caribbean for a long time. So I will just say it wasn't my favorite book, but I really appreciated the feeling it gave me of just the setting, and the characters were cute. It's not like super moving or super intense or maybe going to be your favorite book ever, but I think it's a good, like, easy but still good read for during a heat wave. Totally different book is Outline by Rachel Cusk. It's the first book in a trilogy, but it can definitely be read as a standalone. And it is very strange and different from anything I've read besides maybe Topics of Conversation, which was similar. But it just is basically this narrator who isn't even really narrating. She's just talking to different people she interacts with, and they're really talking at her. She's in Greece. It's oppressively hot, and she does get to go out on a boat and jump in the ocean, so you get a little bit of a respite from that. But yeah, she's hot. It's summer. She's talking to all these people. It's interesting. It's a little bit of armchair travel without making you too sad that you're not in a new place, because really there isn't too much about it being in Greece. It's about the people she interacts with. It's a little bit more involved to read, I would say, than The Star Side of Bird Hill, but it's pretty short and fast. Another short book that's good for the heat wave reads is Sag Harbor by Colson Whitehead. This one takes place in the Hamptons, and it's about something I didn't even know existed until reading this book, which is basically the Black neighborhood of Sag Harbor. And it's about teenage boys kind of coming of age over the summers there. So it's very much like teen boy angst, but it's short. It takes place in the 80s, so if that's something that you like, sort of like not historical fiction, but just kind of a little bit of a throwback, that's why it has the cassette tape on the front. I'm not quite done with this. I'm actually reading it right now, but it's good so far. And then lastly, one of my all-time faves is My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante. This one's in translation, written in Italian originally, and it's also the first book in a series. This one is the first in a quartet of books, but it could also be read as a standalone, just like Outline. And this one takes place in Naples, which I was in Naples last summer, and it is insanely oppressively hot in August in Naples. And also the circumstances of this book are kind of like hot and oppressive and intense. So I think that fits with the mood of kind of just like sticky, like intense, uncomfortable, but in a really interesting, intense way. It's a little bit longer, but the chapters are super short, so you could just read like a couple pages every now and then. I love this book so much. Definitely one of my all-time faves. Highly recommend it. I'm also rereading it right now, even though I read it last spring for the first time. So those are my 4 recommendations of what books to read, fiction books to enjoy during a heat wave. Let me know what your recommendation is of what fiction book to read during a heat wave. And let me know if you've read these books, if you liked them, what your thoughts were. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Please subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow.